Hello, and welcome to another training that we're doing out of this group. If you're coming to me, we're going live in so many different areas. I have the TikTok phone on, the Facebook phone on, the Instagram phone on, the LinkedIn. We're going so many different places all at once. So, hey, what is up? If you're coming in here, drop in the chat hashtag live or drop in the chat where you're from. I feel like we're coming to each other from all over the world. Send to your friends. So much stuff has been happening over the past few months. And if you guys have been able to see some of what has been going on, maybe you're confused. So I'm going to give a little bit of some wisdom as well as some insight as to what's coming on. We have first of all, created the first sales training company ever for women, which has been really amazing. Tonight, we're going to be specifically talking about how to use empathy in a sales process. And second big news is that we partnered with Seventh Level to help expand this globally and being able to partner with Jeremy Miner, his team, to come up with NEPQ Red, which NEPQ stands for Neuroemotional Persuasion Questioning Using Behavioral Science to ask strategic questioning. And with elite sales women, what we've been able to do is have a feminine perspective of sales, using the natural assets that we already have as women, using intuition, using empathy, using the ability to listen, to understand, using, our nurturing side of who we are and what we do so that we can close more. And so we've gotten together and have built out NEPQ Red and are helping women learn how to sell in a natural way using the assets they already have so they can close so much higher. And I'm super grateful for this incredible experience and moving. And I'm really appreciative for all the people that I have been watching along the way. So thank you guys. What is the last bug that I killed? I don't kill bugs. I have people kill bugs for me. So thank you so much, TikTok, for all of your very interesting questions. I always appreciate those. As we're moving forward today, if you're live in our Facebook group, it is Women in Sales. So that is our Facebook group. We have trainings in there every single week, as well as our client interviews. And I'm just going to get right into it, if that's okay. Look, something really, really frustrating in a sales call that I've noticed is that when I wanted to do sales and when I wanted to learn how to sell in a way that felt really good, I wasn't taught so. All the sales training that I had ever done, all the sales courses that I've ever been through, was all about you having the right thing to say at the right time. And here's why that's frustrating. Because if I say the right thing to somebody, thank you, sir. See, we're all professional now. We're using cameras and shit. Am I saying the right thing to overcome an objection? If I have my little flashcards, which I used to have, in order for me to make sure, well, if they say this, I'm going to look down my little objection handling sheet or through my flashcards, and I'm going to know the exact right thing to say at the right time. And I'm going to be able to overcome this person's objection, and we're going to close the deal, right? Today, I was on a sales call with a woman, and we were talking about objection handling with spouse handling objections. I don't know what you guys have experienced in terms of objection handling, but a big objection is possibly money, a spouse, or time, right? Drop below in the chat what your biggest objection is that you currently get, just so that I am understanding how to support you. Thanks, guys. I appreciate you. So she was telling me an objection handling, and she was talking about what she said as a woman to this other woman about handling an objection, which I've been taught too. So if this is how you were taught to overcome this objection, I need you to be very, very careful and listen to me really fast, because it is right for some people, but it's not right for women. And I'll explain this a little bit more because it's just super interesting. You have to approach sales in a different way when it comes to a women's perspective, right? So here is the objection. Hey, I need to talk to my husband about this. I really like this. I need to talk to my husband, right? And what the sales rep said to her was hey, totally understand you want to talk to your husband. I agree with you. But look, when you talk to your husband, right, the same thing is going to go up that he's not going to really understand why you're wanting this money in the first place, because he wasn't on the sales call. He wasn't a part of the situation. He wasn't a part of the questioning, and so what is he going to do? Of course, he's not going to want to spend that money, yada, 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 right? Has anybody else had this experience before when you're on a sales call and maybe somebody told you to say something like this? You agree with them, right? Like, hey, I'm with you. I totally understand where you're coming from. I get it. And then also the second aspect is telling them like, hey, well, your husband's not really on this call. Maybe we should do a call together, right? And you were taught this stuff. I was taught that too. Here's why it doesn't work when you're talking to a woman, right? Now, if I was on a call with a dude, I would say the same thing. Hey, man, like your wife's really not on here. Let's have her get on a call so she can better understand. When I'm talking to a woman and she's telling me that she wants to talk to her husband doesn't need to understand better. Us as the ladies, we like to understand. So telling her that her husband needs to understand better, first of all, it doesn't work. Secondly, we need to make her feel really, really intelligent about her decisions that she makes. And as a woman, sometimes we want to honor our partner and tell them about a decision that we're going to make, which means that I need to be curious on number one, does this woman have money that she can just swipe a card for? Or number two, possibly, does she not have the money and she needs to ask her husband to use joint money together, or use him for his funds, right, for the family in order to be able to pay for this? In that case, knowing that information, then we can honor her. If she needs to use joint funds or she needs to use his funds, we can honor her and help her by teaching her how to ask her husband for that money. Or if she's using her funds, we can get curious about why she feels uncomfortable about using those funds in the first place, versus jumping to conclusions, versus jumping to, hey, like your husband's really not on here in the first place. How about we get them together? How about, y'all don't need to do any of that. And I feel like no one's really taught about using a woman's perspective here, a woman's perspective about really honoring the woman that you're talking to see what's coming up for her, to why she needs to talk to her husband, really honoring her decision to talk to her man about using funds to be able to pay for something. Because we're always like, oh, that's not a real objection. Like, no, it is. This is a logistical issue. This is not a emotional issue. And we won't know unless we ask the right questions to find out. Is this a logistical problem, or is she just trying to honor? Is it that she really doesn't have the money, or is it that she needs to use money for her husband? Is it that they don't have money together and they're been having money issues for a month? Or is it, hey, I just want to be respectful and tell my husband that I'm using funds? There's not enough questions that are happening in this situation in order to figure out what the real issue is. I need to talk to my spouse is over like a Band-Aid on a real wound. It's not a real issue that's actually going on, if that makes sense. Appreciate you guys. Hi, Vera. I miss you. Hi. So let's talk about empathy in sales. Because as a sales rep myself, calling 220 calls a day and being yelled at and being hung up on and, having these experiences, here's a few things that I noticed that brought me from making $15,000 a month to about $35,000 a month. And it was in the little details that really changed everything for me. I was on a call with a lady and I'm talking to her and we're having a really great conversation. I want to help her be able to expand her business, be able to expand her in social media at this time, right? And I'm talking to her and, she had been through a lot. She has an incredible story, really understanding her pain of what's going on here, really understanding what she's going through. And it gets to the end of the call and she's giving me a few objections. And I really didn't want to push. I don't know if you've ever experienced this. I really didn't want to push her because I want her to know that I care about her. And we get off the call. And I don't hear from her again. I try to call, try to follow up. She ghosts me. Woo! Right. Full ghost on. Ghosts me. And I never hear from her again. And a month later, I'm talking to a friend who also is in a social media company, but with a different company. And she acquired the same client. I lost the client. And so I was curious as to what did I do wrong that didn't let this lady feel like she needed to buy today? And this is the main issue that I keep seeing. As women, I want you to be able to work less. I want you to be able to have a quality versus a quantity. If you can understand how to truly acquire the skills to go deep enough in a call, right? It allows this person to be able to have the opportunity to feel uncomfortable enough, so much so to where they are internally disturbed that they have to buy today. And this comes with a perspective aspect. Using your empathy in a call. What would it look like if you actually gave a fuck about the person that you were talking to? And pardon me in my French, I cuss a lot, so you just have to pardon me. I'm doing it on purpose because I want to pattern interrupt you here because I want you to care about the people that you're talking to. When you get on a call with somebody, you have no idea what this person has been through in their life. You have no idea the strengths that they've been through, the situations that they've been through. You have no idea how good or bad of a day that they're having. You have no idea if they recently lost somebody in their family. You have no idea about the struggles they've been through. You have no idea. And so, what would it actually look like if you cared enough about this person to intentionally listen to them, to intentionally pour your heart into them, to intentionally look at them? How many of you, right, are in the middle of a sales call and all of a sudden your brain goes somewhere? This happens to me all the time. I'm in the middle of a sales call with somebody and I'm like, oh my gosh, I need to do this for my daughter later. Oh my gosh, I need to make sure I go to the grocery store. Oh my gosh, and I'm not present at all. And it's in the subtle details where you can hear issues. When you're on a sales call, it's the subtleties that you listen to. It's the facial reactions that they give you. It's the emotion behind the word where you really can truly find where the pain actually is. It's your intuition that can pick these things up. And you can't find that if you're not completely present. Part of caring about people, part of caring about the person in front of you is to be 100% present. 100% present with them, 100% present into what they're saying, what they're talking about, what their issues are. And here's where it comes in the call. Now this is for ladies, like this sales training is specifically for women because towards the end of a sales call, I and a lot of women that I work with feel uncomfortable when it comes to asking for the money at the end of the call. Feel uncomfortable when they start asking for clarity when they're giving you objections. And it's like, how do we care enough about this person to not let them get off of the call? This is a new mindset. This is a new perspective for you. What if you would to have enough empathy and enough caring for this person where they felt that you cared enough about them to where it didn't feel pushy when you were being curious about the objections that they're giving you. And the only way it's going to feel like you care about this person is with your tonality and with your ability to listen, your ability to care, your ability to reach in. Like they're not going to be able to feel like you really care unless you're allowing their brain to process information. And you're doing this in a way by using your tonality, having intentional pauses so that their brain can realize that maybe, just maybe, it would be more risky for them not to buy the service or buy this product than continuing the way that they have been. Your ability to care for somebody means that you are not going to let them get off this call without realizing that you're on their side and without realizing that they get to purchase. Okay. Now, in order to do that, and I'm going to give you a couple suggestions here as well, is that you have to do this in a way where you are in your integrity. If you know with absolute certainty that your product or service will absolutely solve this person's problem, and you took the time to find the problem because you have the right tools to be able to find the problem, it is absolutely 100% okay to stay on the call longer in order for this person to be able to close with you. 100% okay. Now, if you feel like maybe it's not really going to solve their problem and you're just trying to get the sale, yeah, you're going to be out of alignment with your values and your integrity if you're trying to get somebody to close at the end of a call that feels really uncomfortable in closing. I want this person to feel so certain on their decision that you don't have chargebacks. I don't know if you've ever experienced this, having somebody do chargebacks to your job or chargebacks to your business because they really weren't sure about how they were supposed to close in the first place. We need them to feel really, really grounded about their decision, right? Thank you, love. I appreciate you. Exactly. Service over sales. Service over sales all day long. We have to find a way in order to make this person feel aligned with the new vision on their life. So here's an example of like how like an empathy and a close would kind of go, right? Hey, Sally, based off of every single thing that you've seen here so far, do you feel like this is the answer for you? Right? She responds, yes, I do. Right? If she tells you, no, this and this is going on, there's a pre-objection there that you get to handle and come back to this question. She says, yes, I do feel like this is the answer. I'm going to say, why do you feel like it is though? Using slowness, using pauses. Notice that I'm not saying, why do you feel like it is though? I'm saying, why do you feel like it is though? With an intentional pause. And I'm doing this on purpose because I'm trying to get her brain to start processing why she feels like this is the answer for her. I'm giving her intentional pauses in order for her brain to figure it out. And then she's going to start telling me why she thinks that's the answer for her and starts selling herself. Okay. She says all the stuff. I go over the option. I ask her if there's any questions, right? And then at this point, I'm like, so next steps from here, right, are pretty simple. I'm going to take your name, number, credit card, and we're going to go ahead and I'm going to place you on a second call with my team so I can onboard you. Would that be appropriate? And she's like, Kayla, this is great. I really love everything. You know what? It's just really expensive. Okay. Throw out a money objection. So it's really expensive, right? And I am going to do a few things here. I am going to first care about what she's saying versus going into a fight or flight thing myself and say, oh my God, she just asked me, it's expensive. So what am I supposed to do? I need to agree with her. I need to isolate. I need to do this. And you're like somewhere else. I need you to be here. I need you to be in the middle of the sales call. I need you to be focused on the person in front of you. I need you to be able to honor the person in front of you. She just says this is expensive. Okay. So first of all, I'm going to drop into like this motherly tone. I'm going to lean in. I'm like, Sally, like first, I really appreciate, that this is coming up for you. Like it is expensive. I'm with you. I completely understand. Let me ask you a question. Like earlier at the beginning of this call, you had mentioned to me pain point, and that you are really wanting to create vision, solution. Is this something that you really want? Notice my tonality. Notice slowing down. Notice I'm not saying, hey, earlier in this call, you told me that your life sucks and this took 5 years, and you still haven't been able to overcome it, and that it's really messing up with you and your husband's relationship, but that you really want to go on that vacation that you really want, and you really want to make this money, and you really want to blah, blah, blah. Like, is that what you really want? Like, come on. Like, notice the difference. There's a huge difference here, right? You get to step into your heart space, lean in. The whole thing is using empathy here. We're trying to make her feel safe, right? Sally, like, I totally understand that this is expensive. I appreciate you for being vulnerable enough to share that with me. I honor you. I'm listening to you. Look, at the beginning of this call, you said pain point, pain point, pain point, and that you really wanted, solution, solution, solution. Is this something that you really want? Well, yes, Kayla, it is, but like, it's a lot of money, and I just don't know. Okay, I get it, and it is a lot of money. I'm with you. I am listening to you. I'm on your team. If you had the money today, like, is this something that you would want to do today? Well, yeah, if I had the money. Okay. So be open with me. What would be appropriate here? Like, do you want to talk about a payment option? Are you open to funding? Right? Like, what's the options here? And get curious. You're here to help solve their problem. They just said that they really wanted to do it. So they either have a payment plan option, or they either have a funding option, or both of those are not available. You get to believe in this person enough to figure out how to make the payments. And I don't like this example, because if you're getting to so many people that don't have the money, right? You might be attracting in people that don't have the money. Like, get your money right so you can bring in people that have money. But the situation is, like, if they don't have anything, like, at least don't be pissed off. I've had so many times as a sales rep where I was frustrated. I got on a call with a person for an hour and they don't have anything at the end of the call. Like, you can't think like that. If you are really thinking like, hey, I'm here to serve this person, I'm here to honor this person, I'm here to make this person feel unique and special, I'm here to change this person's life. And that's why I love sales so much, because sales had the opportunity to transform someone's life if you want it to. You have no idea what somebody's going through. What if you're the only person that day that actually gave a fuck about this person? What if you were the only person today that really saw them? The only person today that really poured into them, gave them your presence, told them that they were worth it, told them that they can do it, believed in them. Like, what if that? What if you were the only person that was able to do that? You never know where somebody is. And with sales, you have the opportunity to leave people better than where you found them. You have that opportunity if you want it. And at the end of a sales call, I'll never forget this. 3 years ago, I literally had to start all the way over, and I had to sell every single thing that I owned. I sold my kids' furniture, my furniture. We slept on the ground that night. I sold shoes, perfume, a bag. I sold my mirror, my desk, my rug, pots and pans. I sold everything I owned. I packed up a two-door car and I drove from Houston to Miami, knowing absolutely nobody, and had to start all the way over again. The sales rep that I wanted this program was $12,000, $3,000 for a first down payment. I was behind my rent by $756. There's no way that I would have been able to come up with that money. No way, until that day, until somebody looked at me and believed in me enough to be able to figure it out. She had empathy. She had caring. She believed in me, honored me, and I was able to be resourceful enough to figure out the money. And because I invested in that program, I think it was 1 to 2 weeks later, I got my first $10,000 client, right? Learning how to sell online. And I would have never been there. I would never be where I am today, partnering with Seventh Level, building this huge company, being able to create a sales training program specifically designed for women, having these opportunities. I would never, ever be where I am today unless I took risks on myself, unless I went all in on myself. And when I meet another person, your ability to sell, your ability to get on sales calls, if you are in alignment with the vision of your company, or you're in alignment with the vision of your own business, and you're meeting somebody, it's your opportunity to change their world, change their life, whether you're in B2C, B2B. Care about what you're doing. Care about the people that you're getting on calls with. Care about the people that you're in front of, because you never know what someone's going through. And maybe you caring about this person would actually change the trajectory of this person's life. So if there's any questions on here, like, drop them in here. Our second podcast is live. So I am just so excited for this podcast. I came out with a podcast called Closing Deals in Heels. Tell your girlfriends about it. The second podcast just launch. We just dropped it. And talking about how men get to earn your smile in business. This is going to be epic. It's going to be so good. I think that the podcast link is inside my bio. So go check that out. And also in featured group and our Facebook group. Our Facebook group is called Women in Sales. Oh my gosh, yes. Please listen to the episodes. They're absolutely epic. And I just wanted to serve you. If you have a subject where you're like, Kayla, I want you to spill the tea on this, like, let me know. Happy to spill the tea on anything regarding sales industry. It's hard being a woman in sales. You have a different set of rules that you get to play. But if you know those rules and you know how to play them well, I promise you that you can surpass whatever is coming in front of you. Women have a really unique ability to close. We actually close 11% higher than men. The issue is that believing in yourself is an issue. Having the tools is the issue. So if we can help that, if I can help you really understand how worthy you are to make the money that you want to make, like, oh my God, you're going to be unstoppable. So I love you. I honor you. I appreciate you. If you guys need anything at all, please reach out to me on the Facebook group, Women in Sales. Listen to the podcast, leave a review. Let me know if you loved it. Send it to your girlfriends, and I will see you on the flip side. I appreciate you guys. We're going to end this podcast or thing in here. Love you. What's up? What's up, guys? Up. Boom.